Good morning, everyone. You are looking at my little fallen angel, and I'm on my way to work. I'm back to holding the phone because the little device I got for my phone, well, I got a new phone. So you're looking at the babies through a new phone now. And this phone has a wire-free charger hookup in it. So basically you can lay it on one of those pads and it'll charge your phone without you having to plug anything into it. And my previous holder that I had where I did the vlogging and stuff, that has a mechanism. Well, it's a high-powered magnet, actually. And you put a metal plate in your phone case, and then, of course, the metal fixes to the metal plate. Or the metal plate fixes to the magnet. Jeez. Thank God it's Friday. I'm done talking for the week. Jeez. So anyway, I don't think I can put a magnet near the charging capabilities of this phone. I might damage it, so I am at the mercy of holding my phone again now until I figure that out. So I may not do car videos as much because it is harder to hold the phone and drive and do all that crazy stuff. Which I don't look at the camera. I glance over at it here and there, but I won't be able to film myself as easily as I had before. But I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll get one that clamps onto the phone and things like that. So, yeah. So, yeah, little Miss Girl is going to work with me today. It's supposed to snow today. It rained all day yesterday, and today it's supposed to snow. So, we got up and down weather going on. And she's going to ride in my backpack down to my office, and then I'll get her out down in my office and look at her and admire her. I won't be able to play with her, but I'll do that and have fun with her. I came up with a name. Well, I didn't come up with a name. A wonderful woman on YouTube came up with a name, and her name is Melanie from In the Sparrow's Nest. And I'm trying to remember if Melanie changed her channel name right now, because I just said that and I'm thinking, is that right? I hope it is. If not, I'll link her channel in the description below. But she messaged me or commented on my video, something like that, and she came up with a name. And the name she came up with, I can't remember the first name, but the middle name is what drew me in. And not that I didn't like the first name that she suggested. I just, it was a little too out of the range, I guess, of names that I usually go with, if that makes sense. A lot of the names that I tend to select for my girl babies especially always tend to be like old-fashioned names. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why I'm attracted to those names, but I am. I've had an Olivia, I have a Lydia, I have Amelia. Mia is an old-fashioned name. Judith. All of the different names that I've had. Vivian. I had a Vivian before. And, just older names. I have an Elizabeth. I think Enid is the only one that's kind of off the track of old-fashioned names, although maybe that's an old name too. I'd have to look that up. It's not an old name I'm familiar with seeing or hearing. But anyway, so I know I'm going on and on about this, but please welcome Miss Grace. And Grace was the middle name that Melanie had suggested. And I just kind of fell in love with that because She just looks like a Grace to me. And of course, Grace is an old-fashioned name, and that's just what I tend to gravitate towards. But yeah. My little Grace. She is still in the same little t-shirt that she came with. And I added her little pants that came in her box opening this morning. And I put little socks on. The booties that I put her in from her sister Mia, she really filled them out, but for whatever reason they were easy to come off of her feet. I don't know if it's the material against the vinyl, but they stay on Mia's feet because she's silicone. So I took them off and put regular socks on her, like little preemie socks, and they're a little big, which you can't really see her socks. But she is borrowing Mia's headband, and it has a little dragonfly on. So yeah, she's my pretty girl, and I'm so glad to have had the wonderful help from Melanie for helping me name her. I really appreciate that, because I was stuck. I was like, what am I going to name you? And sometimes it takes me a few days to come up with a name, more so than others. It just depends. Sometimes I'll look at a baby and I know the name, it comes to me right away. And other times it could be weeks or months before I name a baby. It's just interesting. Lydia didn't get named for a long time. Lydia is my Gabby Gale by Claire Taylor. She finally got named. And I was thinking about Lydia, but I guess for some reason in the back of my head I was thinking, is there a better name for her? And I must not have been 100% satisfied with Lydia at first. But the more I interacted with her, which she's been off camera a lot. I interact with her a lot of times off camera because she's a bigger baby and it's kind of hard for me to do a setup with her in my current situation. But I'll try to bring her on because I know people like to see Claire Taylor stuff. But anyway, I've been interacting with her off camera a lot, and the more I played with her and look at her and dress her and things like that, it's like Lydia just seemed to start to mesh well with her look and her expression and everything like that. So anyway, but yeah, I know I'm talking about Lydia when we're featuring Grace this morning. But I just absolutely love this little girl here. I know some people don't care for the little babies, the real tiny preemies. They're hard to buy clothes for and things like that, which I get. I do. And the clothes for the tiny babies are very expensive, as I know. And some of you know. You have some of the tiny babies yourself. But I don't know. I guess they're just so dainty and so delicate looking to me. I don't know. I really do like them a lot. I don't like the hold of them as much, I guess. Well, I do to some degree. They're really extremely light because they're so tiny. Even Mia hardly weighs anything. She's like not even 2 pounds or something. But to dress them and to admire their, the beauty behind them, because they're so tiny, and the tiny stuff is the most difficult to work with. And that's pretty much with anything, My daughter watches these tiny kitchen videos, and it shows people in a literally dollhouse sized dollhouse sized bowls and cups and silverware and bakeware and things like that. And these people are on these videos and they're making 7-layer cakes, or they're making an omelet, or like they're making this crazy real food that you can eat out of this tiny, minuscule, first of all, they chop the food up really tiny, and second, they manage to cook it in like a tiny skillet or a tiny oven that's, that operates by a candle, like a tea light candle. It reminds you of the Easy Bake ovens, but on a much smaller, but like on a Barbie size scale. I mean, it's wild. She was showing me a few of the videos, and I was blown away because these people, like, when they make a cake, they decorate it and everything, and everything they decorate with is tiny scale. I don't know how they do it, but it's amazing. To me, that's an art form too. Baking and cooking is an art form for sure, because it takes talent to make things look beautiful enough to eat, right? Or beautiful enough not to want to eat because it's too pretty to eat, right? But yeah, you'll have to check it out. I don't know. They're on YouTube. There's probably more than one, channel. I think they're on YouTube. Or do we might have watched them on Instagram. I don't know. Check it out though. It's like tiny kitchen or real tiny kitchen. I don't know. If I find it, I'll put it down in the description below, and you can check it out that way. But anyway, doing things on a smaller scale is more tedious, and it takes more patience, and it's just difficult. And the details that go into the tiny babies are almost, to me, a little bit more amazing than the details that go in the bigger ones. And I don't mean that to make it sound like the bigger ones aren't a work of art, or that the tinier ones are a better work of art. I just think, I think about the amount of effort that goes into the tiny babies, because, and especially when they look really good and they look really realistic, it's, it blows my mind, because I don't paint very many dolls. I've painted a couple dolls in the last few years, but I haven't, and I want to get back into painting dolls. I said that in my previous video, or one of my previous videos. But I paint just characters and things like that. And I've painted really tiny stuff, and then of course I've painted large scale things. I've painted characters on my wall, and they're about 3-4 feet tall. And I can just tell you, by me doing that myself, I've painted characters that are, about an inch tall versus the ones that are 4 feet tall. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that the 1 inch ones were the most challenging ones to paint. Less paint went into making the character come to life because it's smaller scale, but the precision and the detailing and everything like that was much more much more time consuming and filled with anxiety, for sure. One little mess up and you could blow out an arm or take off their face, or they're small, so it's difficult. And then the big ones, I mean, you can slap on the paint and it's like easy, super easy. So that's one of the reasons, I guess, maybe why I can appreciate the small babies, because I know that the artists probably struggled a lot more with that doll than they have the other ones that they've done. Right, Grace? Yeah, she's out. Aren't you? You're out. She don't even have her little hand up. So she's not looking at anybody right now. She's sleeping for sure. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to come on and, share her name with you and, say hello from us in the car. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and everything like that. I don't know what else to share with you this time. My oldest is looking for a full-time job right now. She's going to graduate here in June. And she's planning to go to school, but she's going to work for a year, maybe a year and a half, so that she can save up money to go towards her tuition. We have, she has some money already towards her schooling that was, thrown in a bank account and is growing, over the years. But it doesn't cover the whole, balance. Never does, right? Unless you really prepared back when they were infants or something. But, going through the struggles of life can mess up your plans. But anyway, she's going to work for a year or so, and then she's planning to go to school. And there are several job opportunities where I work, not in the exact location I work, or the exact department I work, but other departments in the college. And basically anybody who has grown up and lived in this area, or you've moved in this area and you've been here, I would say at least a year, anybody from between that range knows that where I work is the best employer to work for in this area that I live in. They have the best benefits, the best pay. They treat their employees the best. They're like the be-all, end-all of employers in my area. So everybody wants to work there. And so when we are hiring for positions, they get overwhelmed with applications and resumes. So I told her, I said, go ahead and apply for them. But I said, you're going to be, a small fish in a big pond of applicants. So I said, you got to really work hard at making your cover letter stand out above the rest so that you get at least selected for an interview. And that's the challenge right there. Because I have been applying for jobs for, over a year. I've been graduated for over a year now, I think. And it's, I already work there, but I'm trying to, increase my job experiences and, of course, salary. But it's hard. It's hard to move around, even when you're already in. And it's hard to get in. It took me 10 years to get in there. 10 years of on and off applying, because there were times where I would give up for a while. I'd get burnt out and just be like, all right, fine, I'm going to quit this and just look for something else outside. And then I would get the itch to try again, because, this was the place I wanted to retire from. If I'm gonna have to work until I retire, this is where I want to be, because they have the best retirement plans and things like that. So yeah, it's very possible that if she gets a full-time job, at my institution, that she may not go to school. And that's okay. Not everybody has to go to school. I know probably a few of you went, because it does feel like you do have to go to school these days if you want to make anything of yourself, but not everybody can go to school. They can't. There's not enough schools in the world to take all of the students that are available, that are graduating in all the schools. So not everyone can go to school. And sometimes your career path takes you down other avenues that don't require school. And you end up moving up the ladder of success or not, at the same pace that somebody has gone to school. It's kind of sad to know that, but it's true. I know people that have graduated from high school, went straight to work, and they're now very successful people. And there are people that are graduated from college that cannot land a job anywhere close to what they are, or they have landed a job and it doesn't pay near what this person has worked hard to get. And it's interesting. My husband is a conspiracy theorist, so everything with him is always like, I guess it sounds negative all the time, which I'm a more positive person, so I think we create a good balance. But he does say, he thinks school is a scam. He's like, he really believes it's a scam anymore. And he's, he used to encourage our girls to go to school, and now he's like, well, if you can figure something else out, don't bother with it. And here I am, the other side. I'm like, well, that piece of paper does ensure that you'll get considered over folks that did not go to school. And sometimes it keeps you in the running if they say, if they don't have the degree, pitch it. Because where I work, because we get flooded with applications and everything like that, sometimes we have to make those cutthroat decisions. If they don't have a bachelor's degree, toss it, and then those people that are very qualified, because through job experience and the education they do have, don't even get considered because they get so many. They got to trim the fat somehow, and that's how they do it. The job demands that you have this degree or that degree, and if you don't have it, they don't keep you on the pile. So something to think about.